To answer the question posed in the title of this episode, no. No, it will not. But today on the Bandrew Says podcast, we'll be discussing YouTube's new age restriction policy, as well as YouTube battling misinformation about voting. So go ahead and stick around. Let's start the episode by discussing the announcement from YouTube that they would be age restricting a lot more videos. And I think the best place to start there is explaining what age restriction is and how it affects videos. Essentially, it just means that you have to be 18 years or older to watch a video because it has a certain type of content that is not appropriate for children under the age of 18. My understanding of how they verify your age is they use the birth date that you enter when you sign up for your Google account, your YouTube account, and you can only view age-restricted videos when you are logged in to your YouTube account. This means that if you're on YouTube watching a video and you are not logged in and it ends up having some kind of adult content, you're not going to be able to view it until you log in. If you're on another website and they have some age-restricted videos embedded on their website, you're not going to be able to view it on that website. YouTube is going to force you to go to the YouTube proper webpage, log in, verify your age, and then you can watch the video. But then we have the important question of how is YouTube going to age restrict a lot more videos? That is through the dreaded acronyms ML and AI, machine learning and artificial intelligence. If you're a YouTuber, your panties just got real tight. You got real nervous because you know what that means. Your videos are going to get falsely flagged, not to be confused with a false flag. They're going to be falsely flagged and you're going to have to appeal them. And YouTube is fully aware that this is going to happen. And in the announcement, they said, we will have an appeal process ready when this goes live and when the machine learning and artificial intelligence starts to age restrict videos because they know there will be false positives. And they will have a system so you can contact them or request re-review of that video and say, it is not an adult or a age-restricted video. It should not be an age-restricted video. And I know it's easy to hate YouTube for using this type of automated system to moderate their platform, but based on the amount of content that they update, it is inevitable that they have to do that. It's 500 hours of content every minute, something along those lines. I may be completely off there. I believe that's the number, though. Also, YouTube stated that this will not affect your monetization, and the thought process and logic and justification behind that is that if your video is age restricted, it's not advertiser friendly to begin with, so you weren't earning money anyways. You're going to continue to not earn money. Deal with it, you heathen. You absolutely offensive YouTuber. You are not advertiser friendly. And another really important question that I wanted to address, but I unfortunately was not able to find a concrete answer was, how will this affect the distribution of your video? I didn't find it in the blog. I didn't find it in the blog about age-restricted videos. My guess is if your video is age-restricted, it's going to limit the distribution. And my thought process there is YouTube is not going to allow an adult video to end up getting into the algorithm and getting pushed to millions of people. That will not happen. And because of that, I think that automatically age-restricted videos are going to be omitted from any kind of recommendation or distribution from YouTube. I think it's really going to limit the reach of that. Now let's go ahead and look at the official policy about what will lead to a video being age-restricted, so you can either avoid talking about this stuff or approach these topics in different ways to try to avoid getting age-restricted. First is child safety. A video containing adults participating in dangerous activities that minors could easily imitate, such as handling explosives or challenges that cause bodily injury. A video meant for adult audiences but could easily be confused with family content. 2. Harmful or dangerous activities, including regulated substances and drugs. A video about fake harmful pranks that seems so real that viewers can't tell the difference. A video promoting a cannabis dispensary. 3. Nudity and sexually suggestive content. A video that invites sexual activity such as provocative dancing or fondling. A video where the subject is in a pose that is intended to sexually arouse the viewer or in clothing generally unacceptable in public contexts such as lingerie. 4. Violent or graphic content. A video with context showing victims' injuries in a major road accident. A video focused on violent or gory imagery, such as focusing solely on the most graphically violent part of a film or video game. And 5 or 6, vulgar language. A video with heavy profanity in the title, thumbnail, or associated metadata. A video focused on the use of profanities such as a compilation or clips taken out of context. And that is the summary of the age restriction guidelines. I will link the full article in the episode notes, and I highly recommend you go check that out and click on each of the headers because they are hyperlinks and they will provide a lot more information about what you can and cannot do. Do not take this as an end-all, be-all, an exhaustive list of what is acceptable on YouTube because it is not. And if you point to me and say, he said I could do it, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Don't put that evil on me. Check the link. Do your own research. That's an overview for you. But now we have the most important question of this entire discussion. Is there anything that you can do about this to protect your channel and avoid getting a bunch of age restrictions on your video? No, not really. This is YouTube using an automated system to age restrict stuff, and there are going to be false positives. It's going to happen. Go in, appeal that stuff if it does in fact have no inappropriate content. And if you do make videos about inappropriate stuff that will ultimately be age restricted, so be it. That's how it's going to go. YouTube isn't going to push out adult content. They are a very risk-averse company, and they want to ensure that they are not associated with some less than savory stuff. I'll leave it at that. Now, what are my thoughts about this new policy and this automated system? I have heard a number of folks on YouTube saying that this automated age restriction will harm their political commentary channels, and I don't see that happening. The reason I don't see that happening is the age restriction guidelines do not seem to include any mention of political discussion or discussion of sensitive subjects. Therefore, as long as you are not showing the graphic violence that you're discussing in your videos, I think your commentary channel will be perfectly fine. That's as far as age restriction. As far as advertiser friendly, that's a different story. We have gone over this hill 1,000 times. It may seem a little bit two-faced that advertisers will go and advertise on legacy media where they're discussing the exact same subjects that you are talking about, but then when you talk about it online on YouTube, those same advertisers say, no, we can't be associated with that. I understand that it's two-faced. That's the name of the game. The advertisers are a bunch of jerks. But by the way, advertisers, thanks for the money. It's the name of the game. I don't like it, but that's how it goes. I don't think that this automated age restriction is going to affect political commentary unless in those commentary videos you are explicitly showing violence and gore or sexual content, which I know the majority of the political commentary community is not doing. I think you'll be fine. Again, I will link in the episode notes the YouTube blog announcing this, as well as the age restriction policy, so you can read up on that. Next, let's talk about YouTube promoting authoritative voting information. That's right. Yeah, that's right. YouTube just put out another blog. They've been busy tippity-typing away on a blog. YouTube, the biggest video platform in the world, they're posting blogs. Make a video, guys. And gals, y'all run the biggest video platform. I guess Google does also own Blogger, don't they? Yeah, they have to post to Blogger as well because YouTube is the last company, the last actual blog on Blogger. YouTube's blog is the only revenue that Blogger is getting. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Regardless, YouTube posted a blog about promoting authoritative voting information on videos that may interfere with the U.S. election. They stated, "Our policies prohibit claims that mislead voters on how to vote or encourage interference in the democratic process. Additionally, we demonetize content with claims that could significantly undermine participation or trust in an electoral or democratic process." This means that going forward, if there are videos discussing methodology for voting, there will most likely be a card underneath the video directing people to something called the Bipartisan Policy Center. This is going to be similar to the COVID-19 card that was beneath any video discussing COVID-19, because you can't have people thinking, "I don't know." You're not allowed to not know anymore. You must know all. And if you do not know all, we will fact check you. We will have links to stuff of smarter people, because you big dum-dum, not allowed to exist on platform. Big dum-dum must be corrected. Are we on the same page? Good, big dum-dum. Now you know. As I mentioned, I'm sorry, you're not a big dum-dum. You're a big smart. This information will be coming from the Bipartisan Policy Center. I have no idea what this think tank is. I have no idea what it's about. I'm always a little bit hesitant and skeptical of think tanks because I've read a couple of books about RAND, Research and Development. They were a governmental think tank or a military think tank. They were something. They did some weird stuff, made some really cool stuff, but really scary stuff at the same time. I don't like think tanks. If the information that they're providing is only going to be, here is how you vote, here is how you vote, here's where to vote, and here is where you can find information about the candidates, I see no harm in that. I think that would potentially be a very beneficial thing, because people are ill-informed, people need that information, that's perfectly fine. Simultaneously, though, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I don't think mass mail-in voting is necessarily a good idea. Let me provide some context. A couple of weeks ago, I had to ship back a microphone to a company to get it serviced because it was a broken microphone. It was an expensive microphone. When I was working with the company to find out where to send it and all of that information, they said, do not send it via USPS. Do not send it via USPS. We will not accept any liability if it's lost or broken. A microphone company, a small microphone company, is saying, do not send stuff through USPS because they have likely had experience with stuff getting lost or broken. That's a microphone. Why are we going to trust the USPS, a company that is known for losing and breaking stuff with our democracy? Is it far-fetched to wonder and think, if they cannot be trusted to not destroy and or lose a microphone, why are we going to trust them to not lose or destroy our entire election process? Answer is, I'm not going to. Here's what I am doing. I am checking my local state website every couple of days to ensure where my voting location is and when I am able to go in and early vote. The reason I'm doing that is I could absolutely see the polling location changing. I could see some polling locations shut down due to some of the folks volunteering at the locations getting sick, any number of things. I could even see my governor, I'm not going to say who it is, coming out and saying, oh, we see an increase in COVID. We're going to shut down in-person polling and in-person voting. We're not going to allow you to do that. And if that happens, I'm completely and utterly screwed. I could absolutely see that happening. With that being said, check your state's election process, research the candidates, all of them. Don't just research the president, research every single candidate on the ballot, research all of the proposals on the ballot, understand what you're voting for, and vote with an informed opinion. Don't just follow trends. Don't just say, oh, Fox News told me to vote for this. Oh, CNN told me to vote for this. Screw them. They're a bunch of morons. Screw all of these legacy media companies. I hate them all. They're all misleading you. Do your own research. Do it and go in as an informed voter. You'll feel amazing when you walk out of that booth thinking, I know exactly what I voted for. And I think that I am making this country, this state, this city that I am living in a better place for it. And I am leaving a better world for the future generations. I just got on a little rant there. That was silly and stupid. But now I think I have sufficiently spoken about voting. Do you see what I did there? To see if the voting card shows up on this video. Now you know my entire ploy. Ha! I have bamboozled you, YouTube. You have been bamboozled. Okay. As I mentioned, sorry. I think I lose my mind more and more. My sanity is slipping away every single week. And as I mentioned, I will link the YouTube blog about the authoritative voting announcement in the description, and I will link the Bipartisan Policy Center post in the description as well, even though I don't necessarily think they are 100% unbiased, because they seem to be conflating absentee voting and mail-in voting. Two very different things. Absentee voting is you call in or you submit a request for a specific ballot only for you. It is very limited in numbers. And then you have mass mail-in voting, which is a ballot sent to everybody. And I don't trust that. I don't trust that in the slightest. That seems scary to me. Give me that card, YouTube. Give me that voting card. Thank you very much. There you go. Next, we have one new product, and it is the Telefunken TF11 FET, and it was announced. It is $900, and it is a cardioid FET condenser microphone, and I honestly think this is the only microphone from Telefunken, only condenser microphone from Telefunken, other than one set of their small diaphragm condensers that is solid state. Everything else that they do, I think, is tube. They have the entire Copperhead series. They have the TF47, TF51, both of which I absolutely love. Then they have the really high-end stuff. They have do they have the C12? A clone of the C12 and the U47, which are both $10,000? So $900 seems pretty reasonable for them, considering they sell $10,000 microphones and a couple of $1,500 to $2,000 microphones. The ones I've used sound pretty great. Pretty great. Pretty good. I will link the Telefunken product page in the description, and I will get my hands on that sucker if I can. I need to pick that up. That would be a good starting point, because I have a couple of Telefunken mics. I have the TF47 and TF51. I think those are the only ones I have. I really enjoy both of them. I've used it for some music stuff, and I don't want to jump right into, hey, here's Telefunken's $2,000 offerings. It would be nice to start with a $900 offering and then go from there. We'll see. Maybe that's the way to go. Lastly, we will have one What You Had to Say, and this comes from Sir Nigel Cogs Gaming and Stefan. They say, Zoom, PreSonus, and Allen and Heath all have multi-track USB mixers that can record multi-track. Stefan says, Tascam Model XX has multi-track. There are several, but you have to check. Also, Behringer, Soundcraft, Epos Vox used one for some time. If you need many inputs, it's probably better getting a mixer or a preamp with ADAT output and an audio interface with ADAT input, like the UMC 1820, and the Behringer ADA 8200 gives you 16 microphone inputs. Sir Nigel and Stefan, thank you very much for that input. I knew there were a few mixers that did allow for multi-track recording, but this is much better information. Zoom, PreSonus, Allen and Heath, and Tascam Model XX are USB mixers that do allow for multi-track recording, a mixture of USB audio interface and mixer. Pretty cool. I'm not going to do that again. I was going to respond to some comments about last week's episode. Was going to do some emails. I'm burned out, guys. I am burned the F out. I am exhausted. I am so stressed out. I don't want to do anything ever, but I'm forcing myself to so I don't just crawl into a hole and become this depressed hermit that hates everything and doesn't contribute anything to society. I'm burned the hell out, and I'm still going because I'm not gonna let the darkness drift back in. It ain't gonna happen, boys. Ain't gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna wrap up there. I'm gonna try not to bump the desk and cause any huge rumbles in the microphone. Thank you so much for coming by today. I love you. I hope you had an amazing week, but more importantly, I hope you have an amazing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Sunday, I'm gonna talk at you, and we're gonna be right back here. And guess what? We're going to do it. We're not going to be burned out. We're not going to be exhausted. We're not going to be crawling into a hole and hoping for the sweet relief of all of this to end. COVID, the lockdown, not life. Not life. Come on, guys. Get out of town. Stop it. I'm not thinking like that. I love you. I will talk to you next week. Bye.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.